Hello, Lindon Topa. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Topo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lindon Topa. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Topo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. A blessed good morning to all of our exchange listeners. My name is K. Lyndon Topa, and I'm very much excited to be here to bring you the program inside the print media. We are very sorry that Gretfina is unable to be here. She has gone to attend some important obligations relating to the growth and progress of our institution. However, I want to take this time to register an apologies to all of you for coming up a bit late. But we have a lot of trending news stories to bring to you. The content of these news stories are very, very fascinating because it evolve our country, Liberia. Every other thing, every Liberia wants for this country to progress. Every Liberia wants for positive things to happen to Liberia. So today we have full newspaper in our possession, like we always bring to you. We have full newspaper in our possession. We have the Daily Observer newspaper. We have the New Dawn newspaper. We have the Front Page Africa newspaper. And lastly, we have the Hot Pepper newspaper. And each of those headlines, each of those newspaper contain very, very fascinating headlines that you just don't want to miss. So let's take a short break. When we come back, I became filling you in with the headlines and as well as the content of those newspaper. So let's take a short break. Okay, welcome back again. Let's go over to the Daily Observer newspaper. The Daily Observer newspaper is reporting. The Daily Observer is reporting. Let's go over to the Daily Observer newspaper. Is the Senate avoiding an audit? Is the Senate avoiding an audit? So I gave you the content of these particular headlines. Just shy of requesting an all-right audit, the body wants the GSE help to conduct a financial management system assessment of its Senate that is barely 4 weeks old. The Liberian Senate of the 55th legislature has disclosed that it is embarking on various reform initiatives geared towards promoting accountability, transparency, and fiscal prudence in the management of the Senate. As part of the reform initiative, says a letter to the General Auditing Commission, the Liberian Senate would like for the Auditor General to conduct a financial management system and control assessment of the Senate's operating environment for the current period. According to a communication signed by the President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate, Yombri Kanga Lawrence, and addressed to the Auditor General of the General Auditing Commission, P. Gaswa Jackson, Senior. The assessment could include reviews of Senate accounting and financial management processes, policies and procedure, financial reporting, internal control, documents management system, and compliance with applicable laws and regulations. The objective of the assessment, pro tempore Lawrence noted, is to identify areas of weakness in the financial management system and control environment. Thereafter, the management system and control environment are operating effectively and efficiently. As part of your assessment, we will appreciate where you want to benchmark the Liberian Senate financial management system and control environment against several English-speaking countries in the West African sub-region. Senator Lawrence asserted, emphasizing the objective of the benchmarking is to identify areas of improvement and implement best practices outcome. The result of the assessment, the pro tempore maintained, will enable the leadership of the Liberian Senate to establish appropriate financial management system and control environment which will subsequently enhance accountability, transparency, and fiscal prudence in the management of the Senate. Exactly a week, Thursday, 8 February 2024, Auditor General Jackson appeared before the plenary of the House of Representatives and provided an overview of the GSE, including the targeted accountability enhancement cycle and the proposal to review the system of the legislature. As far as I know, the legislature has now been audited, probably because it can be audited, but in order to enhance the legislature financial management system, the GSE is proposing a system review of the legislature. Auditor Jackson said, after the system review, GSE will perform a full-scale financial statement audit in 2 years. AG Auditor General Jackson added, in response to the GSE's remarks, House Speaker Jay Fonatikofa expressed the House commitment to audit to ensure the accuracies and reliability of financial statements, internal control, and the use of public funds. The Speaker outright commitment to an audit of the lower house, followed by the rather unanimous endorsement of his colleagues, signaled a new era of legislative transparency. In some quarters, the House of Representatives were praised for their commitment, while in other quarters, the same were received with skepticism. The agreement of the legislature to an audit process could be regarded as though they are doing the Liberian people a favor by being audited for the first time in 30 years. An observer remarked, the legislature should be audited every year without fail. The Liberian people need to know how their money, apart from the national budget, is being appropriated. Yet the Senate appears to be treading rather carefully towards what should otherwise be an inevitable audit process, requesting merge a system with a financial management and system control assessment to the Senate operating environment for the current period. Nothing more, nothing less. The current period, as stated in the Senate pro tempore request, is barely 4 weeks old. Therefore, it could take the GSE more than a few days to access the financial management system of the August body and issue its funding and recommendations. However, the historical audit is what many returning legislators, both senators and representatives, may be jittery about. Many are afraid that the fringe benefits above and beyond what their fast salaries and all of financial loopholes in the legislative system could be exposed. It is no secret that every legislative body since the National Transitional Legislative Assembly has indulged in covert transfer of cash, kind, as well as other transfers similarly, albeit in disguise. The 52nd and the 53rd allegedly receive often by the demand on two amounts of cash from the executive branch in order for certain bills to be enacted into law. The 54th legislature demanded that the executive branch provide legislative engagement form to each legislature ahead of an election year. Essentially, there is no commitment after the requested financial management and system control assessment of the Senate operating environment. The Senate will proceed to an audit. In another development, Senate Pro Tempore Lawrence has constituted a specialized committee to investigate circumstances that led to the blocking of roads across the country by women believed to be wives of active service personnel of the armed forces of Liberia. According to Pro Tempore Lawrence, warns personnel of the armed forces of Liberia who have authority over their wives and their unwarranted situation that impeded the movement and undermined the fragile peace to be investigated and report findings in 2 weeks. The 7 members committee include Sino County Augustine Che as chair, with Wapuru County Senator Amara Kanu serving as co-chairman to the committee. Other members of the Senate include Lofa County Senator Momo Saros, Grand Cape County Dabla M. Vapla Senator, Webble Brown of Maryland County, Senator Creighton Dungin of Sino County, Senator J. Webble Brown of Maryland County, and Creighton Dungin. And lastly, Senator Abraham Darius DeLong of Montserrat County, and Senator James Banning of Maryland County, and Senator Francis Doppel of River G County. This is how we move over to another headline. LDEA arrests LIS officer with 7.54 grain of coach. I will read that headline again. LDEA arrests LIS officer with 7.54 grain coach. An officer of the Liberia Immigration Service has been arrested by the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency on charges of trafficking narcotics. The officer, identified as Cyrus Davy, was apprehended in Tapeta February 6, 2024. It is alleged that David was using his uniform for clandestine drug-related activity, allegedly trafficking about 7.54 grams of the narcotic substance as known as coach. Someone said the LDEA Nima County Commander told the Daily Observer that Officer Cyrus David and another suspect, Joseph Colley, have been charged with various offenses, including unlicensed distribution, transportation, possession, and trafficking of narcotic drugs crimes, and which contravenes Section 14.103, 14.107, and 14.111 of the amended penal law of October 17, 2014. He was caught red-handed by the officer carrying on the transaction, but lied of seizing it from a trafficker whom he couldn't show, as Say said. The estimated value of the seized drug is approximately 423 US dollar 25 cents, equivalent to about 80,000. Following his arrest, David was initially taken to the local authorities of the Liberia Immigration Service in Ganta, where he was relieved of his duty by the PISD division of the Liberia Immigration Service. He was subsequently handed over to the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency for prosecution. Both individuals have been sent to the San Quentin Magistrates Court and are currently in jail awaiting their court trial. Officer Cyrus Davy, 37, reportedly claimed that he obtained the drugs from a dealer in Chapel. However, he failed to provide any evidence of the alleged dealer to the LDEA upon his arrest. The LDEA disclosed that David was caught in the act of carrying out transaction, but could not substantiate his claim of having confiscated the narcotic substance from a trafficker. It is worth noting that Officer Cyrus Davy had previously been linked to an incident of firing his weapon in a neighborhood in Ganta in February 2022. This incident caused panic among residents and led to concerns about the officer's behavior in association with drug abusers. The incident at the time, which happened near the Guinea-Liberia border in Ganta, lasted about 2 minutes and caused many to think that the community was under attack by armed gangs. They were later informed that the pandemonium was being caused by Officer David. Narrating the incidents at the time, Sir Tamar said the officers entered his home at about 3 a.m., claiming that he was in search of a criminal, and while leaving, he fired his gun twice, penetrating the ceiling and wall from the hallway of the 4-bedroom house. He didn't come with an arrest warrant, but ordered all of the occupants to get out on their knees, demanding that all of the room's door be open so he could search for the criminal, Tamar said. It was noted that Ganta residents have often complained that David was always in the company of drug abusers. Meanwhile, as the latest legal process unfolds, the LDA says it is committed to pursuing justice and ensuring that individuals involved in illegal drugs activity are held accountable for their actions. With this being said, this is how we move over to another headlines on the New Dawn newspaper. China Union on spotlight amid ongoing strike. I will read that again. China Union on spotlight amid ongoing strike. The House of Representatives is expected to investigate China's mining firm, China Union, for alleged failure to live up to Mineral Development Agreement, that's MDA. The House decision followed a communication sent to plenary by Bond County Electoral District 7 Representative Fode Famule. The move comes amid report of strike action by over 80 employees of the Chinese mining company over what they describe as bad labor practice. Meanwhile, according to Representative Famule, China Union Mining Company Limited and China Union Investment Bond Mine Company Limited since entering into a mineral development agreement on January 19, 2009 as a result of a general solicitation for bid proposal for the explorations and mining of iron ore issued by the government of Liberia on January 2023, 2008. In a document called the Bond Range Tenet, has refused to live up to its social corporate responsibility. He explains that MDA, among other things, provide the concessionaire to conduct a social impact assessment, develop a social action plan, implemented a skills and technology development plan, and renovate all existing roads in the concession area, including renovating, extending, and building the Kakatai to Hendy's Road. The concessionaire is in keeping with the MDA is responsible for providing an annual social contribution of 3.5 million to communities within the concession area, providing a general education funding of 250,000 annually for the scholarship and operation of Mining and Geology Institute at the University of Liberia. Also, the MDA provides for the employment of 70% Liberians within the 10 most senior positions within the concession in 10 years. Under the MDA, the concessionaire is expected to generate 250 megawatt of electricity, with 130 megawatt being produced from hydropower plant on the St. Paul River near Hindi. In addition to these, the concessionaire is expected to generate and maintain an up-to-standard health facility within the concession area, as well as pay a land rental fee of 1,000 in the first 10 years and 250,000 per year for the next 15 years, he said. He continues that since the effective date of the MDA, the concessionaire has conducted operation within the concession area, including bomb mines, which falls within the district. January 19, 2024 marked the 15th anniversary of the MDA, but he knows that regrettably the terms of the MDA have not been respected and the Kakata to Hendy's Road remains uncompleted. St. Paul flows without a hydropower plant, and the medical facility and scholarship, among other issues, remain marriage. Least to mention the employment quota and conditions of Liberian per the MDA have not been respected for 10 years from now. The MDA will mark its 25th year, which should end the terms of the agreement. He says, as Liberia begins to turn a new chapter through accountability and adequate representation, it is high time to ensure that all corporate dues, specifically those ratified by the national legislature, are adequately monitored and implemented for the benefit of the people and the state. Famule is calling on the plenary to invite the China Union to provide an update on the implementations of the MDA and its plan to remaining 10 years of the MDA. The House has mandated its Committee on Investment and Concession, Mines and Energy, Contract Monopolies, Judicial Good Governance, Labor to probe China Union Mining Company Limited and China Investment. This is how we move over to another headlines. 730 unrecognized employees on MOS payroll as Anthony Toba disclosed. I will give that to you again. 730 unrecognized employee on MOS payroll as Anthony Toba disclosed. The names of over 730 recognized employees have been discovered on a supplementary payroll at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, a presidential nominee has disclosed. The Deputy Minister for State for Presidential Affairs of Administration Designate Councillor Cornelia Krab-Tokpa reported the figure following the conduct of an assessment. Anthony Tokpa appeared at the Liberian Senate on Wednesday, February 14, 2024 for her confirmation hearing before the Committee on Executive chaired by Maryland County Senator James Banney. The Deputy Minister for Administration Designate told the Liberian Senate that the supplementary payroll was privately managed by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning in the State of Presidential Affairs under the former coalitions of Democratic Change government. She explained that despite such a huge financial burden on the ministry, the situation has caused 385 employees recognized by the Civil Service Agency as legitimate staff plus. But she was blunt that overall 730 unrecognized employees had pushed the total staff over 1,000. She said the senior management team of the Ministry of State is currently working with the Civil Service Agency and the Governance Commission to do a total assessment of the institution. She said that they plan to ensure that staff will work effectively and efficiently and resources of the country are used. We are currently working with the CSA and the Governance Commission to do a total assessment of the ministry so that we ensure that we do not have the employees at the Ministry of State, but people's time, energy, and position they serve in contribute to the overall efficiency of the ministry and resources of Liberia as used effectively, she added. Due to the over 730 extra employees, Anthony Tokpa said the ministry spends 2.7 million annually only on salary. She expressed the determination of the senior management team to tackle those challenges upon her confirmation by the Liberian Senate. We believe that once we address these issues at the ministry that holds the seat of the presidency, it is easy for other ministries to mirror similar pattern or similar administrative decisions that are taken by the ministry, Anthony Tokpa said. At the same time, Anthony Tokpa said that during their assessment, almost all of the systems were apparently non-existent or not working. She cited the lack of procurement arm of the ministry while there exists a procurement unit where that has not worked over the last 6 years. According to her, staffers of the ministry were individually doing their own procurement while the institution did not have the office space or a department responsible for the audit unit despite the presence of internal auditors. She said this made it impossible for transactions to be audited. The Deputy Minister for State for Administration Designate further revealed that assets of the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs cannot be accounted for while the new management recently inherited a single vehicle. She termed the situation as a huge challenge with accountability and transparency. And as the MDA designate of the Ministry of State, I cannot commit to you that the Senate Executive Committee that we are committed to setting up a system that will just bring the accountability back to the presidencies of the Ministry of State, she pledged. She promised to ensure that those who are unemployed of the ministry are effective, efficient in leading the overall success of the rescue agenda. As one of the ways of addressing some of the problems, Anthony Tokpa said right sizing could be considered because the ministry is heavily overstaffed. According to her, retaining a total of 1,000 staff at a single government entity at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs in the absence of right sizing could mean each staff would have to be placed to his or her specific position to do exactly according to that position. Also speaking to the joint public confirmation hearing, the Minister of State without portfolio designate at the Ministry of State, Makabe Ability vowed to promote the agenda of President Joseph Gilman Boakai. Madability bragged about her many years of experience working in the office of Ambassador Boakai while he was vice president for the last 6 years. She said the job is not strange to her and she promised to keep the presidency effective for the Liberian people. At the same time, the Minister of State without portfolio for special services, destined at the Ministry of State, Mr. Samuel S. Tikwa, say if confirmed, he will serve as a liaison between the President's office and the Liberian Senate for a collaborative working relationship. He noted he comes to the job with an extensive background in administration and management, having worked in the United States of America and further serving as Chief of Staff for former Vice President Joseph Boakai. With this being said, this is how we will go over to the Front Page Africa newspaper. But before reading the Front Page Africa newspaper, we would love to entertain a short break. And when we come back, we fill it in directly from the Front Page Africa newspaper.
Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for staying with us. This is how it is important for us to recognize those people who are following us. Abu B. Jallo, following from Grand Bassa County. TC Prince. He says, happy belated Valentine's Day, Focus TV. We are not Focus, we are Focal TV. Thanks for the presentation. I'm following from my study room. We want to say thanks to all of you who are following, and thanks to those of you who are following also on the YouTube page and that of our related Facebook pages, but have not commented. We want to say keep following, keep encouraging others to follow, share our live stream so that a lot of people can be exposed to the kind of innovations we bring to broadcasting. So let's go over to the Front Page Africa newspaper. Resigned Defense Minister briefing notes to President Boakai suggests most AFL soldier wife issues beyond his control. I will read that headline again. Resigns Defense Minister's briefing notes to President Joseph Boakai suggests that most AFL soldier wife issues beyond his control. Over the weekend, Major General Princey Johnson, who had been confirmed as Minister of Defense, was forced to resign just 3 days after his confirmation. His resignation was triggered by a series of protests staged by wives of servicemen who felt their husbands and family were not being treated well by the armed forces of Liberia under the watch of Major General Prince Johnson when he served as Chief of Staff under ex-President Weah. However, briefing from the retired Major General to the President seen by Front Page Africa showed that the issues the Army wives were faced with are simply embroiled in the lack of policy within the Army to address some of the core issues. The women's plight. The women who staged a well-organized protest at several locations, including Bong, Grangida counties, ranted on a dismal housing condition, stagnant salary, and inadequate health insurance as some of the discontentment permeating through the military. They blame these old age problems within the barrack on the former Chief of Staff, alleging that he did too little to address their plights. The women who protested included wives of servicemen from including the Camp Tokben military barrack in Grangida County, Banga military barrack in Bong County, Tori military barrack in Montserrat County, Lofa military barrack, Coast Guard, and Star Base military barrack. the military police barrack at the Small Notice Rabat International Airport and the home of the 23rd Infantry Brigade, the Edward B.M. Kesley Barrack in Lower Margibi County. They, among other things, accused General Johnson for not remaking all of the monies and benefit of AFL soldiers on UN peacekeeping mission abroad. They further accused Major General Johnson and former Defense Minister Daniel Zianga of unfair employment practices. Under their leadership, they said there was no sound retirement policies and soldiers and family live in poor housing facility. Lack of policy, however, the notes prepared by Major General Prince Johnson revealed that he had rather been aware and sympathetic with the conditions within the barrack and had proper solutions and pending solutions to the commander-in-chief. He noted that the briefing seen by Front Page Africa that the absence of the retirement policies for the armed forces of Liberia has cast a shadow of uncertainty over its personnel with enlistment guidelines in place but no provision for the retirement benefits. To bridge this gap, the AFL pension and gratuity policies was formulated aimed at safeguarding the future of officer and enlisted personnel upon retirement. However, despite its drafting, the policy remains inactive, prompting calls for urgent legislative action from the government of Liberia. Passage to today's policy, Major General Johnson noted, is seen as crucial not only for ensuring the welfare of AFL-wide retirees, but also addressing issues such as absence without leave and voluntary separation within the ranks. Promotion on the way. Addressing the issues of promotion, he briefed the president that the AFL High Command initiated restructuring its promotion process, thereby establishing promotion boards for officers and enlisted personnel. According to him, the 2023 promotion board have been convened with the specific mandate of assessing the eligibility of 18 officers and 332 enlisted individuals for promotion to higher ranks within the military. Addressing accommodation, the briefing notes disclosed that the growing demand for personnel and the need for adequate accommodation has been a major challenge facing the AFL. Major General Johnson highlighted the challenges faced by the troops and their families due to inadequate housing facility across various barracks in Liberia. In response to these pressing issues, according to the briefing notes, the AFL has embarked on a series of renovation and reconstruction projects aimed at improving accommodation conditions at its personnel. The recent interventions have focused on both newly built accommodation blocks and partially renovated barracks in different counties across the country. The newly constructed accommodation blocks include 2x4 apartment blocks in Bon County, 1x4 apartment blocks in Grand Bassa County. These additions are expected to provide much needed housing for AFL personnel and their families in this area. However, the renovation extends beyond new construction. Several barracks have undergone partial renovation with plans to complete the process to alleviate congestions and facilitate strategic deployment plans. Among the barracks that have been partially renovated are the Edward B.M. Kesley Barrack in Margibi County, the Vonderman Barrack in Lofa County, Camp Wisner's Reju Grandier County, Camp Sunnyware, Terrysburg, Monserrato County, RIA Barracks in Unification City, Margibi County, LCG base in Bourgeois Island, Monserrato County, and the Topman Military Academy in Todi, Monserrato County. Looking ahead, the AFL anticipates further growth in personnel deployment over the coming years. To accommodate this expansion, he stated that the urgent need to complete the renovations of buildings that are yet to be renovated and initiate the renovations of unoccupied barracks. These measures will not only address the accommodation shortages, but also support the strategic deployment plan. One critical aspect of resolving the accommodation challenges involves the decongestions of the Edward B.M. Kesley barracks. Additionally, Camp Todi has been the potential to accommodate the battalion, but renovation works as the required to unblock its full capacity. Similarly, the Top Emperor Barrack, which has the capacity to hold a battalion, is in urgent need of renovation due to the deteriorating facility. Reports indicate that civilians have been utilizing the buildings for their projects, utilizing the or highlighting the urgency of the situation. Once renovated, the Tottenham Barrier will play a crucial role in facilitating AFL deployment in the western region of Liberia. With this being said, this is how we transition over to another headline. Like President Bouaka did not meet with Ghanaian President Kufuor Addo on maiden foreign trip to Ghana. I will read that headline again. President Bouaka did not meet with Ghanaian President Kufuor Addo on maiden foreign trip to Ghana. The president of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Jomaah Bouaka's first official trip abroad following his inauguration on January 22nd has been marred by controversies after it emerged that his host, Ghanaian President John Kufuor Addo, may not have been on the grounds to meet him. On Monday, the executive mansion announced that President Bouaka has left the country for a 2-day working visit to Ghana. It stated that while in Ghana, the president will meet and hold consultation with his brother and friend, President Kufuor Addo, on matters of mutual respect. In his letter to the legislature regarding his departure from the country, the president informed them that the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, Mr. Sylvester M. Grisby, will chair the cabinet in close consultation with the vice president, as His Excellency remains in communication via telephone. However, sources say that President flew to Ghana purposely for medical purpose and was accompanied by his wife and other members of his family. There were no protocol officers, neither was he accompanied by other government officials. Front Page Africa has also gathered that there was no meeting between the two leaders, as President Kufuor is currently out of the country, leading a delegation to the international conferences in Munich, Germany, and Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. A no meeting between the two leaders was also confirmed by a release issued by the executive mansion late Tuesday, February 14, announcing the return of the president from Ghana. The release further stated that while away, the president held talks with members of the Ghanaian government headed by Vice President Mahamudu Buhari. During the meeting with the Ghanaian counterparts, the president extended appreciation for the support received prior to and during the inauguration, as well as the visitation by the Ghanaian leader, President Nana Akufo-Addo. For his part, the Vice President of Ghana, Honorable Amadou Buhari, expressed excitement over the visit and showed the Liberian leader of his continuous support and commitment to Liberia, the release said. During the growing campaign period, the president, critics, and opponents raised concern over his health and questioned whether he was able to perform the responsibilities if elected, given his well-documented health issues and frequent travel abroad for medication. But he and his team downplayed the critics' concern and said he could be up to the task. Following a month visit to the legislature, critics are now suggesting that the trip to Ghana is purportedly aimed at addressing some challenging health issues. With this being said, this is how we flip over to the hot pepper newspaper. CNL rejects senator allegations against Dr. Njala. CSNL rejects senator allegations against Dr. Njala. The Civil Society Network of Liberia has described as baseless statements emanating from Brandide County Senator Joe Emmanuel Pennon and Sino County Augustine Chi, the former Minister of State, Dr. Wilhelmina Njala, used taxpayer money to improve to improve her medical center. During the confirmation hearing of Health Minister Destiny Dr. Louis Poto, both senators alleged that former Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala used taxpayer money and diverted medical supplies intended for public hospitals to improve our hospitals. Having followed the workings and administrations of former Health Minister Dr. Wilhelmina Jala, the Civil Society Network of Liberia sees Senator Pennon and Che allegation against her as baseless and a complete falsehood. The senator section also a sinister attempt intended to undermine the gains made by former health minister. We see it as politically showboating and ludicrous for Senator Pennon to grade Dr. Jala 10% in performance rating. The statements are disingenuous because, as a renowned medical administrator, Dr. Jala has made tremendous effort in transforming the health sector in the midst of low budgetary support. The CLNL Liberia said in a press release. Despite low support from international health partners, Dr. Jala ensured that salaries and benefit of medical doctors and other workers were increased. Major hospitals were built, hospitals were fully functional, and medical training were carried out. With this being said, this is how we will conclude on all of our major news presentations regarding the various newspapers, the Front Page Africa, the Daily Observer newspaper, the New Dawn newspaper, and the Hot Pepper newspaper, which was lastly read. Many thanks to all of our esteemed viewers who have been consistently following. I want to acknowledge again the contributions and the commitment made by these two individuals. Abu B. Jallo, who is always following us, he's one of our consistent followers. TC Prince is also one of our consistent followers. We want to say keep following us as always as possible. We are here to bring innovation to the media landscape of Liberia. Our management is working on a lot of things. Pretty soon we will definitely be competing with other bigger media institutions, but we will be very independent. Our editorial policies demand that we be independent, void of political influence, void of loyalty to a particular political party. We will be independent in the wake of doing our duties in lines with our ethical standards. So many thanks to all of you who have been following from our YouTube page, from our related Facebook account. We want to say thanks to all of you. Keep following us, keep sharing the live video. That is the way in which we believe you can contribute towards the progress of our broadcast. So thank you, and bye bye from my end.